Hey guys, Dan here. If you can see over there, there's a couple of deer running through along the side of the house. Here comes a couple more. Oh man, there's a lot of them. Hopefully you guys can see them running around. I think I must have interrupted their quiet time back here in the woods. They heard me out here and decided to take off and go running. So, today's topic is going to be how to turn down the fear. I know this is a big deal because I always talk about how fear and attention are the fuel that kind of keeps the pain or the other symptoms persistent and keeps them going. It's what makes them chronic in the first place. So how to turn down the fear. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. Breathe in the cool winter air. Happy winter solstice. I think today's the longest day of the year. Most amount of dark. Breathe in the turning of the solstice. And tomorrow we start to get longer days, a little bit at a time. So, how to turn down the fear, or how to let go of the fear. What's interesting is, what was the very first thing I showed you on the video? A whole bunch of deer running because they were afraid of this guy who's walking around out back with a camera and making all this noise. So, how to let go of the fear. I talk about this a lot, and I use this phrase a lot because I like it. Because it is very powerful. It is called accurate information. You see, when you don't know what's causing your pain or symptoms, and the doctors and medical professionals can't give you an answer, or they give you an answer but then their treatments don't work, which causes you to kind of second guess the initial diagnosis. Anytime you don't know what's causing you all of this pain or discomfort, or any other symptoms, whether it's pain or something else, weakness, dizziness, you name it, ringing in the ears, any number of dozens, hundreds, thousands of possible symptoms. When you don't know what's causing on, it's really easy to become afraid. It's really easy to let your mind go to the worst place scenario, the darkest place you could ever even imagine. And so, that's why accurate information is the antidote to fear. So that's why, as I map out this roadmap to recovery, one of the first things we want to do is understand what this TMS thing is, the mind-body syndrome, what this distraction pain is, right? Because without that knowledge and that accurate information, it's very possible that your symptoms are coming from the brain and not from some deficiency or fault or structural defect in the body. Without that information, we're left guessing, bouncing from specialist to specialist, doctor to doctor, treatment center to treatment center. And as we don't get results, we become more fearful, which just tends to fuel this pain even more, these symptoms even more. And it gets worse, and we become more fearful. And then symptoms can sometimes migrate. They move or they multiply. You have the original plus two others. And before you realize it, you believe that, oh my God, I'm falling apart. I'm only X number of years old and I'm completely falling apart. And if I feel this bad in my 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, how bad is it going to be later? Fear, fear, fear. And again, fear is the fuel. It's what turns things chronic. When you're fearful of something, your focus is always going to be on it, because when you're fearful that there might be something really wrong, it's really difficult to shift your attention to anything but this thing that's scaring the crap out of you. So how do you let go of the fear? How do you intelligently learn to turn it down? And I've had people argue with me. Dan, it's impossible to turn down fear. We're supposed to be afraid of pain. No, pain is supposed to get our attention. And I will say Pain from a true injury is different than pain from this mind-body syndrome, this neuroplastic pain. And the reason for that is pain from a true injury is based on real tissue damage. And that is supposed to get our attention because we're supposed to get it handled medically if we can't solve it ourselves. You know, you cut yourself in the kitchen, not too deep, sure, put a Band-Aid on it, you should be fine. But you cut yourself all the way to the bone and require stitches, go get it handled medically. That's going to hurt. It's supposed to. It's supposed to get your attention. But this mind-body syndrome, TMS, this pain is different. And it's wild because it can be just as severe as any injury you've ever felt, even more so. And it's very scary when we don't know. So when I talk about accurate information being the remedy, it's like step one of this entire journey. Unless you know what this mind-body syndrome is, this stress-induced, tension-induced, emotionally induced pain syndromes are, it's really hard to grab that fear dial and turn it down. So if you're uncertain in any way, shape, or form over what this TMS stuff is, this mind-body syndrome, you got to start there. You know, if you want a quick 20-minute overview, go to painforyou.com. There's a 20-minute quick intro video where I kind of walk through what this is, how pain starts, how it becomes chronic. It's a great primer for you or anybody else who might be having some chronic symptoms and doesn't know where to start. It's a great place to start. And I will tell you, if you go to yourpaintest.com, this is where we take this general information about the mind-body syndrome and make it personal to you and your scenario. And this pain test is geared specifically to identify the types of pain, the characteristics of pain, how it behaves, your personality types, the timing of when things occurred, relevant to your life stressors and life events, and basically give you a thumbs up or thumbs down that, yeah, this is TMS. And now that you have the accurate information of this mind-body syndrome, what it is, and you've made it personal, guess what happens to your fear level? It goes down. And I know we can be very anxious and say, okay, great, I know what this TMS thing is, and I absolutely know without a shadow of doubt that this is what's going on with me. But now I'm afraid I can't get rid of it. That's where I talk about yesterday. If you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. So I will argue for your possibilities today in this video. Because once you truly know what's going on and that it absolutely applies to you, get off the fence. Stop debating whether or not it's TMS. No, it's physical. It feels physical. That doesn't make sense. You know, my pain doesn't move, so it's not TMS. Don't look for reasons that it doesn't apply. Look for reasons that it does. And the reason that's really a good piece of recommendation is because once you know and accept that it's TMS, fantastic news is that there's a cure. And you're on it. You're taking this journey now. Just by watching these videos, you are taking the journey. And even though you haven't reached your destination of a pain-free you, you're on the journey. Every day you learn, every day you experience something, you connect the dots, you see how a much more calm and whatever attitude about the symptoms or pains helps you out. You're taking steps in the right direction. And as long as you keep going, you will get there. You know, I talked to somebody recently who said, you know, my pain's still here, but my life has gotten so much better. I said, how come? They said, well, because I'm not worried about it as much. And I'm able to kind of engage back in life a little bit more so. And, you know, she's like, I've taken on the whatever attitude. And even though the pain is still there and she hasn't, you know, crossed the finish line yet, she's absolutely on her way because she's not as bothered by it. She's not as focused on it. She's not as freaked out by it. She's turning the fear dial down. And it's absolutely, that's one of the starting points, is to go, oh, I know what's going on. I know it applies to me, so I'm not going to sweat it. Whatever. So I'm not better yet, but I will be. Whatever. No big deal. And so it's amazing how once you can start to embrace this belief that you're not broken, and then it's just this mind-body syndrome, and that there is a way out, and you're on the right path to get there, just that realization will improve your life, improve your mindset, your state of being, how you show up every day. And when you start to see that this isn't just false hope, but there's real hope for getting better, because the less you care about the symptoms and the pain, the less focus you put on it, the less desperate you are to remove that symptom or pain, the better your life gets. Whether you still have the symptom still or not, you're getting there. So how do we let go of the fear? Spend a little bit of proactive time up front, making sure you understand TMS. If you read the book 6 years ago, you haven't done any TMS study recently, pick up a Sarno book again. Read one of them. I happen to like what is it called? The Mind-Body Prescription. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. But I like that one. But they're all good. If you don't have back pain, don't read Healing Back Pain, because the entire time you read it, you're going to be going, interesting, but doesn't apply to me. Right? So the Mind-Body Prescription is one that I really like because it's a little bit more general. But there's tons of books out there by other people besides Sarno. But if you're uncertain, review the knowledge. At minimum, go watch the video on the homepage of painforyou.com. It's a quick overview, 20 minutes. If you don't have 6 to 10 hours to read a book, 20-minute video. Just watch it. Refresh your memory on all these things. And then take the pain test, yourpaintest.com. It will redirect you to my website where you can take the test. If you say there's no next button, if you're on a phone, very bottom of the screen, literally on the very bottom, there should be a next button. And if you're on a desktop, it should be easy to scroll down a little bit and see the next button. And when you're done, make sure to enter your email and submit so that you get the results. If you just leave it hanging towards the end of the test, you may not know. So, with that, guys and gals, this is how you let go of the fear, because you know what this TMS, the mind-body syndrome, is. You know that it applies to you, and you know there's a way out, and you know that you are on it. When you have all of this accurate knowledge, it's really easy to say, whatever, turn down the fear and know that you're going to get better. And when you turn down the fear, you're going to be able to return your focus back towards, engaging in life again. So that's my recommendation on how to let go of the fear. And it's one of the most important things you can do, because it's fear and attention are the two big fuels for chronic symptoms and pains. So if you can get rid of one of them, losing focus and shifting your focus back to living life becomes simple, because you're not afraid anymore. If you're not afraid, you don't have to stare at it all day long and be desperate to fix it. So, with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Love you guys and gals. Hope you had a great Monday. Welcome to Tuesday, and we will talk to you guys and gals tomorrow. Love you.